And we are live on the last day of June in 2025 with Bead Maker Coffee. Sydney's with us, and of course, we got Josh with us today. And we're just looking at the montage of all things Monterey, and that's one of our topics today. So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm not being Joe Cool. The sun is right there trying to bring my eyeballs out. So,
I don't know. You look pretty cool.
Yeah, and it always is interesting as the seasons change, right? Like we're at like our longest days right now. It gets light at like 5:30, 5:45, and it doesn't get dark till 10:30 here. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and you think about it, we get into December and we're all in the dark, right? We got all the lights on because we can't see anything.
Yeah. Well, and we're all in different time zones, right? It's early, extra early where Keith is. It's just darn early where I am. And Josh, it's
8:30.
Yeah, it's getting to be mid-morning. Lots of good mornings in the comments. So let's see. First of all, I feel like it has been a forever 2 weeks since we were here last.
Yeah.
Like it does seem super crazy, doesn't it, Keith?
Oh
like
my
2
God.
weeks ago you were in Boise. It just seems like a lot has happened since then. But it's been a crazy 2 weeks. So let's just dive right into it. For the most part, the last 2 weeks has been a lot of Monterey stuff for us, right? Right after Bead Maker and Coffee last time, we went into hyper mode, getting ready to invite the team. So we started team invitations that afternoon into the next day, right? And that is always Keith's favorite day of the entire year. So remember that for a future, what do you call them, like a quiz? Future quiz. What do you do, Keith? Josh, you do the PNS quizzes. So Keith's favorite day of the year is not, in fact, Christmas. It is the day he gets to invite the team to Monterey.
It's the best day of the year because, those are some just unbelievable phone calls. I mean, I can't even describe it. And if you've been on the other end of one, I try to tell everybody this is the best day of my year because we get to do this. And it's a cool thing, not because we're changing lives and turning the world upside down, but just because it's cool to be able to make that call and invite somebody to that special event because it's so special to us. And
to
invite people to our favorite thing is kind of cool.
Yep. And then there's me sitting there every call and I go, what'd they say?
What'd they say? Are they in? Are they in?
It's pretty much how it goes. So we got to have fun doing that. We had PNS Brand Week, right? And so we were focused on a lot of Monterey stuff during Brand Week, but we were all together here in Boise that whole week, which was great. And we had Bob and Dave, and we had lots of Q&As, and so that was great. And then last week we got to announce the team. So let's go through that. So I can be fancy here, and we can put up the team. So here is the team. I think a lot of them are going to be joining us today. So I'll just run through them real quick. Keith, if you want to mention where they're from, I know you know better than me, but we've got, but of course we've got Bob and Dave, Keith and Sydney, Josh and Rennie. So the PNS team. Our two team leaders are Chris Lee from McMinnville, Eric Rutledge from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. They have both been on the team before. So I think Chris Lee, if I remember correctly, was 2021 or 22, and Eric was 23. We've got Doug Cunningham from New York.
Long Island, New York. Yeah, out in Hamptons. Awesome.
New York. He is a veteran, so he's been Team PNS for a long time. We go way back with Doug, absolute friend of the brand. We're so excited to have him back. And then Kiki Sanchez. And do you know where Kiki's from?
He is a California guy and also one of our returning legends. So we picked two legends because it is the 10th anniversary.
The 10th year, yes. Yep.
We kind of created some new slots this year for kind of some returning legends to come in. And if you've ever seen a wrapped van or vehicle with PNS, if you look at the back door, that's Kiki coming right at you.
Yes. So,
how could we not have him on the team? So.
Yep. And then we've got Gabe Garcia and Carson Black, both from Boise at the Rag Company. So we're super excited to have them join us. Joey Belinsky and Alex Dewar, friends of the show, friends of PNS. They will be coming as well, which will be so great. Nathan Warren from, I think right now he's living in Florida.
Yep, he's in Florida.
He was from Indiana. Everyone knows Nathan. We're so excited to have him on the team. Luke Hayward, who does he hold the title in the Bead Maker Lounge?
I think so.
Yeah. Holds the title for most rehab used. He's the rehab king. And then we've got Thomas Oleski, and I am skipping where he's from. I know it's back east.
It's from the Pittsburgh area. Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
so super excited.
I got him coming up here in a second.
Yep, awesome. And then Chris Blaisdell from Salt Lake City, Utah. Miguel Saavedra, he's from the Bay Area. He is our Spanish speaking trainer that just had his first training last month at PNS headquarters. So excited to have him on the team. Tucker Mathiasen from
Connecticut.
I'm like, I know this one. Ryan Weiss from Phoenix, Arizona. Jason Robert Autonis from Chicago. Obviously Car Supplies Warehouse. Mike Botello.
Massachusetts guy in this year. Yep.
Awesome. And Ryan Smith is from Utah as well, right?
No, he is from Colorado. Yeah.
Colorado. Dang it. Man, I'm so close. All right. So that is everyone. And then we're so excited about that. So there's the team announcement. Watch them, support them. We're going to be super, we're going to have all sorts of stuff that week during Monterey Car Week to celebrate the team. But man, we could not be more excited about this year's team. It really came together super awesome. I'm so excited for these guys. Good morning, Thomas. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, look at that. One of the team members already here. Yeah. I think we've got, everybody would say there might be some big personalities there, but I think they're going to mesh well. They're just great people. They're great ambassadors in the industry. I know we'll probably get questions on how do we figure out who's on the team? How do we pick those folks? Every year we kind of have a list of names we've always kind of circulated, and and then as the years go on, we kind of, it's our interactions, it's their interactions with us. It's it just kind of evolves. And I would love to say, here's the ideal team member, but every team has its own personality every year. And they all, I think we said it 3 or 4 years in a row. It's like, it's the best team ever. And I just think they all gel in their own way. And they find their way. I think Monday's van pickup sets a tone for the entire week. Can't park there at all, ever. And it just kind of, it turns into its own thing. So it's such a great time of year for us to bring everybody together. We're excited for it. And of course, there's a ton else going on in the industry, but that's kind of our big thing this time of year. So
we're super excited. Josh, what are you looking forward to for Monterey this year?
The team. I mean, just every year it's the people, the different interactions,
Totally.
We go, and it's fun because we're never the same team twice. Every year is different. And you build a bond with the team every year, and it's like a family. I mean, it's friends for life.
Yeah. I think that's the coolest thing. And for us, I mean, we obviously are so fortunate because we get several teams, right? But it is so true that whole team, like, they literally become friends for life. And, you look at people like Anthony Brown Jr. and Lindsay Rose last year, the friendship that they, built. And it's amazing to watch. And they stay friends forever. So great.
Yeah. Well, we got Guam chiming in today. We're going to be global again, I think, today.
Where America stays first. I love that. Yep. Good morning. Good morning. So while we flash up the good mornings, why don't we dive into good morning, Carson? He's another team member. Why don't we jump into what was your favorite product that you used last week, Josh?
So mine was a trio.
Okay.
Not the normal trio. It was the paint recovery series. We had a old Fox body Mustang that was in. It was the gal's original high school car. Been neglected for a long time, so we did some spot correcting with intervention and whole thing with rehab and therapy, and the thing looked like it just rolled off the showroom floor.
Nice.
And of course, we put stout on it.
Nice. I won't say that that's my answer either, but I had to do that last week too. I had a Lexus, like an XC350 or something like that. It was like the little two-door coupe, and it was black and just absolutely hammered. And same thing, I had to go to a two-step. I couldn't do it in one. And man, therapy. I just had no idea how much I would love that product. I really honestly didn't. For anybody that knows me, I mean, I was deeply involved with it, with Dave giving him feedback and stuff, but I honestly, like, my heart wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm going to use this product all the time. Because I just don't do two steps. And so I knew it was a good product, obviously, but I didn't know that I would use it as much as I do. And I didn't know that I would love it as much as I do. And then the scent, I mean, I would almost just use it. That was the only reason that, like, honestly, when I realized that I had to do a two-step and I had already quoted the customer, I was kind of like, eh. But then, I did the test spot, ran over it with therapy, and I was like, all right, I'll go back over it. No big deal. Just because I wanted to be able to use the scent. So that part was great. Well, awesome. Yes, I do. I'm super excited. Intervention, you guys should be here anytime. You should be seeing that. It is made. We're just trying to fill the warehouses first with it so that we don't run out or not be able to ship it. So we should be making it available to our distributors here any day. And then you guys should be able to get it. So hang on tight. It is made. That's the good news. And it is coming. So it's on its way.
It's made by Dave. Dave made it himself.
Yes, Dave made it by himself. Not by himself, but he made it actually himself and bottled it himself, which is so fun. Yeah. Let's see. So just FYI, I haven't had any coffee, so I might stumble across my words a lot today. I'm drinking Ovaltine.
Well, we'll have plenty of protein there. But so what was your product, Sid?
My product, let's see. I'm going to go with Clarity Cream. I know I say this all the time, but, and the question got asked on the Bead Maker Lounge the other day, like and I think it was AI that asked the question, but anyway, it said, like, what's your most shocking PNS product? And it still is Clarity Cream, but I had ceramic coating maintenance the other day, and the guy's coating is technically overdue by a year. And so he's been kind of milking it. And honestly, when we're in that position, I try to educate and, like, guide my customers to make good decisions. And so he had parked in the sprinkler and he didn't want to pay for the water spots to be removed. And so that was just something where it was like, I wasn't going to dive into that when we were just doing the ceramic maintenance. He really needs a new ceramic. I wasn't going to compromise the clear coat at all or whatever coating was left. You know what I mean? Without, like, making good decisions and redoing the coating. And so he said, well, I want to redo it at the end of the summer, early fall. Great. No problem. We're going to leave these water spots here because you're just going to park in a sprinkler again. Like, let's be honest. It's July, right? And so I left the water spots and he was totally cool with that. So don't anybody think I'm mean. Like, I'm a mom. I pulled the mom card. But the windows had water spots all over them. Oh, yeah. And that I was not going to leave. And so, of course, I whipped out the polisher and the Clarity Cream and just polished all the side windows and the front glass. It took me 7 minutes. And I mean, just snapped the water spots right off of there. And I was just like, this is so great, like, to have, like, a tool like this, that something that's just so efficient and works so fast and has such a great, and they totally noticed, And so I did use Clarity Cream to get all the water spots off the glass because I wasn't about to leave that for them. So Clarity Cream, still love it.
Well, we've had cleanup mode here at the Duplessis compound this week. So my shop is dialed and set, guys. All the banners are up.
Oh my goodness.
Logos are up. The Sasquatch Lounge has been redone with more seating. Even has a coffee table now. So we're really upgrading out there. Maybe next show I'll do it from the lounge. But actually in the house, it's been a bit of a different story. The long-haired furballs that create havoc, otherwise known as Gracie and Panda, have been deciding to upchuck everywhere. So my product of the week is the trio of the interior system, because God help us, those guys leave a mess everywhere. So so I got Lisa converted over to the system, and now she's addicted to it. So we got a win there. But yeah, for me, it was the carpet system. On the pool house, by the way, pool house is coming up to spec 2. Deep clean on everything and Express interior. So I was all interior this week. Express was the thing for cleaning everything else. Nice. So yeah, me, it was the interior system. I guess the 5-part interior system, we didn't really use the release, but we did use the traditional 3-part plus interior. So
nice. Very
cool. I saw that Alvin was on. Alvin, I'm drinking the coffee you gave me. Awesome stuff. Thank you, sir. Got a comment from Diamond Dan. Yep, that Jamie was on the team a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's always interesting to see who joins us on the team every year.
Yeah.
And look who's on the podcast. It's Chris Lee. Good morning.
Chris Lee, good morning.
Yeah, another early morning West Coaster.
Chris Lee is a team leader this year. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, I had to make a second call to him about that. I go, oh, by the way, you're a team captain this year.
Yeah. Yep. Very cool. We've got some more team members coming up. Steve, good morning.
Morning, Steve. 15:30 o'clock. So that I take it that's 3:30. So there we go. 6:30 a.m. there.
Nice.
So 2 hours different for me. Well, no, it's our time. So yeah, West Coast.
Nice.
And that, by the way, is
Tucker.
That's Tucker.
Morning, Tucker.
Morning, Tucker. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, that must be in New Hampshire. Maybe I had the state wrong. So, good morning, Amber.
Good morning, Amber.
Amber showed up at a show a while ago and had some great questions. So if you've got a question, guys, now's the time.
Nice.
So,
nice. Alex Dewar. Man, how exciting for him to be coming from Canada.
He'll never be the same again.
Good morning, fellow teammates. Love you all. We'll need to catch this one later. Busy morning. Josh, you haven't met Alex in person, have you?
I have not. He'll never be the same again, though.
You're going to love it. You're going to love Joey and Alex. They're hilarious.
We have to pay import tax duties on him because of the tariffs. Is that how
hopefully not. Good morning, Joey. Look who's up.
Look who's awake.
Being up so early, but yeah. We love it when Joey can join us. Dr. K Dragon. That's a good name.
I like it. Okay, here we go. I don't know if it's Dr. K Dragon or if it's Dark Dragon.
Oh, yeah, too. Joseph Fuller. Good morning. Pet peeve, dirty windshields. I've been using invisible glass, which is a great product. PNS TrueView at a gallon with a ratio of 4:1 is 5 cents per ounce. Wow. How does it compare to Stoner? So I will say I prefer TrueView. I do, but it is going to be a very different experience from using invisible glass or Stoner, the foaming glass cleaner. The one thing that I would say is that you may want to change your technique of cleaning glass. So with the spray, you spray it on and you clean the glass, right? TrueView is a great glass cleaner, but I do the box method with the applicator and then an FTW, and it's perfection. So it's just different. It's it's going to be more like when you used to use Windex, but it's going to be 1,000 times better than Windex. But it is a different experience. So just because it doesn't foam on, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I'm the same. I love the applicator.
Yeah,
that's
just foolproof. Yeah, it's just totally foolproof.
Yeah, thank you, Mark Spindler, for teaching us all that many years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Stokes Dewar and the first detailer to represent Canada at Monterey. Actually, not the first detailer to represent.
Yeah, we have had other.
Crisanto was on the team.
Yeah, I was like, who was that last year? Crisanto. Yep.
Yeah, we've had a couple Canadians over the years. We've had a Costa Rican, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, we try to keep a little international flair on the team every year.
Yeah. Yep. We had Alan was at SEMA. I was thinking Alan was at he wasn't there last
year. We tried to get Alan this year, but it just the timing wasn't going to work out. So.
Yep. Sarah, good morning.
Sarah. Look at this. Fans of Joey and Dewar. Look at that.
Yes, we're big fans of Joey. Endor.
Well, I don't think the Revive was Tucker.
That must have been Tucker's dad, because that is their company. So, but now I see Tucker's here himself. So that maybe that was his dad chiming in. Good morning, Tucker. We can't wait to see you. Yeah. Tucker's going to be a hoot. He's going to have such a great time.
Got to keep the girls away from him. Yeah.
There's always one every year. There's always one.
Morning, BK. Drinking your coffee. So there we go. That's Alvin's brother.
Nice. Oh, very cool. Very cool. My legs are falling asleep.
Sunny, Ontario, Canada. Now, how often do we get that comment on the show?
Almost. Yeah. My co-host is missing today. He was here. I don't know where he is.
He's terrorizing somebody else today.
Jeff, when does intervention get released? So we talked about that just a few minutes ago. It should be any time now. I would say for sure before the middle of July. So it is made, it's bottled. We are in the process of shipping it to the various warehouses that we ship from. And as soon as it gets there and the distributors are able to order it, we will release it. So literally days away.
Yeah. And when we say warehouses, we should indicate that we have an East Coast warehouse for PNS and a West Coast. But that also includes the rag company. We consider them a warehouse as well. Yeah. So when it drops, it'll be available at all 3 locations.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I think we're the worst show in history at saying that. But
I know.
Morning, Chad.
Morning, Chad.
Look at this.
And there's Bob.
There we go.
Spent yesterday with Chad and Bob.
Did you? That's nice.
All right. So normally I say the best logo on the planet in the industry belongs to Steve Pearson. But Aaron Layton's just throwing Reflect right out there and saying,
Pretty good. All right, so he says, I have a release question. If vacuuming an area after using release, is it necessary to use finisher afterwards? It wasn't necessary to use Terminator or Carpet Bomber. Absolutely no, because release has its own anti-static and anti-soil, and it does not have any surfactants. So the reason that we use finisher is to neutralize the chemicals that we used in Terminator and Carpet Bomber, and release does not have any harmful left behind chemicals. So nope, do not need to use finisher. You're all good.
Yeah, if you're doing that express service, just a couple of mists and vacuum away and send it on down the road and you're all set.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my product of the week, Reflect on my phone's tempered glass screen protector. Makes swiping easy, eliminating the fingerprints and reduces the glare. Yes, it does. I use it on my laptop screens and actually on the case of the laptop as well. Because I have Apple products, Joey, and it makes the outsides stay fingerprint free and gooey free and all that stuff. And as much as we travel, it's nice to have a clean computer.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Kim.
All right, here's one for you.
Joey, is there any way that we can run a line from HQ to my garage to install a tap for unlimited supply of paint gloss? I really can't get enough of it. It's so good. We can't run a line that far, but what we can do is get you a 5-gallon pail with a spigot, and that honestly should last you a good minute.
Well, I got to take a shot at Joey. If you'd been able to make the team last year, you could have just snagged one off the shelf at the HQ last year during the tour. But
now you're going to have to ship one.
Now we're going to have to ship one. Yeah.
Yeah, paint gloss is amazing. So we sponsored the car show yesterday. We gave everybody that registered a pint of paint gloss.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing people find it for the first time is still just awesome.
Yeah.
Stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love it.
Well, I wish I had the picture that Bob sent us the other day.
Oh, I know.
The special paint gloss.
That was Bead Maker.
Yeah, but it said paint gloss with protection.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, the original model was a paint gloss.
I have it.
Yeah.
I have it. I can upload it. Give me a minute.
Here we go. So we're using technology during the show now, folks. So, yeah, wasn't that cool, Josh? I mean, speaking of cleaning things out, I mean, I was doing that, but Bob and Dave have been going through the warehouse as we, transition to building out the new training center, which is going to be a 2-bay plus training center with a new classroom and all sorts of stuff. And part of that has been cleaning out the basement. So unfortunately, no more special surprises that Sydney and I can dig out of the basement while we're down there.
Nope.
All right. Well, hey, favorite friend of the show, Mr. Hans Stroopwafel Closen is with us today. Nice to see you, Hans.
All right. So back to what they were just saying. So Bob and Dave have been cleaning out the warehouse, and this was found in the basement. Ultra Coat Quick Coat Spray On Paint Sealant Protection. So this was the very first gallon of Bead Maker, right? Before it was named Bead Maker. So this was right before the creation of the double black line. And so this was kind of back when they weren't real sure what to do with it. And but look at that, a full gallon. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
So cool.
And look at the vintage label.
Yeah. So great, right? And look at the little top. Did you notice this? The little oh, look at that. That's crazy. The little browning at the top. That's great. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, the product still looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, not bad for 11 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 14, 15 time frame when that actual batch was probably made. So
yeah. So cool. So cool. Yeah. All right. Cool. There we go.
Morning, Jameer.
Christine Lancaster. Yay.
All right.
We should. It's the 4th of July week. We forgot to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
We should have a good week. Yeah. Steve says, Josh, how does intervention compare to rehab in terms of working time and wipe off?
I mean, all three of them seem to be the same. I mean,
the same. Yeah. Yep. Now, I will say that intervention wipes off just as easy as rehab, but therapy is not quite as easy because it's got more like moisturizers in it. So I feel like generally with therapy, I'm more like a double wipe. It kind of leaves behind, almost like a little lotion effect. So therapy, it still wipes off easy, but you're wiping a couple times. But intervention seems to come off just as easy as rehab. So easy.
Yeah. And do we want to release, or let's wait till next time when it has dropped, and we can ask everybody if they can identify the fragrance, because that's always a new fun game we play with Dave's.
Yeah. All right.
Nathan, good morning.
Hey guys, just picked up a clay reset towel. Do you have any maintenance tips to keep it in good condition? So, one, you can clean it with, I like to clean mine just with like an APC, or I just use Pearl because Pearl's sitting at my sink, and I'll rinse it out, and you can hang dry it. Like I loop mine over the sink with the clay side up if you want, and then you could put it back into the container if you want. But for me, honestly, because I only use Absolute to wash. So my wash bucket always has Absolute in it, whether it's clean or dirty. So I don't usually ever empty my bucket. I leave the Absolute in it. My clay towel soaks in it. My sponge soaks in it. And then I clean it right before, I have a new car that day or whatever. And so mine lives in Absolute pretty much 99% of the time. So the main thing is just remember, if you do take it out of the bucket, just hang it to dry with the clay side up, not folded on top of each other. But otherwise, I just clean it with whatever is sitting there, to be honest.
If you're an outside washer, keep it in the bucket. Don't hang it over the edge, because direct sunlight is kind of the killer for all synthetic clay materials. So whether that's the reset sponges or the reset towel, direct sunlight's probably your biggest enemy on those things. But beyond that, they're pretty low maintenance.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to kill them.
And we try.
Yep. Yeah, Tucker says Brent must be on the Revive account watching this morning too. Hi, Dad. That's nice.
Yeah. So they are in New Hampshire. I had the wrong state there, but it was, hey, I got New England at least. I'm in the right geographical center.
Yes, that's awesome. Joey, I'm just practicing for those early call times in Monterey. No kidding, because that is West Coast. So we are up early.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. Gosh, there's one day that we have to get up at like 3 o'clock.
Well, the guys who have no hair, like Josh and I, we can get up at 3:30, but
no good for me. No good. No good. Because not only do I have to get up and do the hair, but I also have to pack from the whole week and have like we have to take our luggage with us on that day. And my goodness, like pack up the whole week's worth of stuff and get ready. And yeah.
Oh yeah, no, the Jenga that comes with the last day loadout is it's its own special entertainment. We're playing Tetris back there in the back of the vans.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But this year, Josh, I have it in my office. I should pull it up. Instead of buckets, we're changing the new.
I have it. Do you want me to show it? I have it right here.
Yeah, show it.
See it.
Yeah.
Should take up less room.
Yeah, totally. They should like fold down nice. So we're doing, Josh made us these little Carhartt buckets this year. So cool. I'm going to use mine for camera stuff, but yeah, I'm so excited about it. It's got little pockets and yeah, so these will be so much nicer to carry than the buckets and take up, much less room.
Yeah. And we've kind of streamlined our process. That's another cool thing is, we really used to take a lot more product. And thanks to the versatility of a lot of things like rehab, I mean, basically cuts us down to one product that we need for bead correction.
Yeah.
And then
Absolute cut out about
Absolute
cut out about 4 products. It's like, no, we'll just use Absolute. We'll just use Absolute. It's so funny to think back when we had to wipe everything down with Epic and Paint Gloss and Bead Maker.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to actually see Reflect debut on the lawn this year. That'll be fun. Yeah.
We did have it last year. They just were in unlabeled bottles, and I think we only had 2. So, like, remember a couple people got to test it? Mm-hmm. We had Reflect last year with us, and we also had the Express Wipes with us, unlabeled. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything secret we're taking this year.
I can validate, Gabriel, that not 1, but 2 containers will be on the water in the next 2 weeks. 1 has already left the building. It was on the water on the 27th. Your rehab is on the way with your therapy. So
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Good morning, Frank.
All right. Hans says, Gabriel, how many emails should we send PNS about sending us some Fat Joe wipes? So bad news there. Those were literally a limited edition just for TRC. We did not even keep any for PNS. So we won't be able to get those.
Wah, wah.
I don't want to break your heart, but I got to be honest. Like that's probably not ever going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I mean, talk about what happened the last 2 weeks. The Fat Joe video debuted.
Oh, yeah.
Fat Joe on the prowl in the neighborhood, much like the day we met him. When he was, I think that's what he was looking at is our Sprinter van just was not very well polished and he was having issues.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah. That was pretty funny.
If you haven't checked that out, you got to go to the Ride Company's page and check out the Fat Joe video.
I loved all the Baby Joe posts. That was great.
Yeah.
All right. Steve says, we have a lot of road projects this year in PA, which means a lot of tar. What is your process for removing tar from the sides of vehicles?
Call Josh.
Yeah. So I'm going to be honest here because I'm always honest, but it's actually not a PNS product. I use Kosh Ulex just because it takes it off so easy. We have a lot of tar here. We're constantly doing road construction. Removal works okay, but honestly, like the KCX Ulex works so good, and it works so good on the type of tar we use here that it's literally like one wipe. So that's what I use. Josh, do you have something different?
We use Removal and Solvent X, depending on how bad.
See, and I've never gotten Solvent X, and so this is part of the problem is I can't get it here. So because I don't have any local distributors that carry it, I have a good feeling Solvent X would probably work much like Ulex, but I can't get it. So
Solvent X is our product for that. And has been for a long time. It's got both xylene and a little bit of naphthalene, as I recall. So it's going to work really well to just melt. You should be able to spray it on them and watch that tar melt right off. It's kind of a cool thing. I
You'll
do
have to
not
figure out how to get me some because I can't get any.
I gotcha. I can hook you up. But I will say you don't want to use a clay towel with either Ulex or any of the PNS solvent products. It'll eat your towel. I know a lot of folks like to use clay for tar removal. It's not really a thing for me.
No, it doesn't work.
I typically go chemical removal.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, Chris.
Morning.
I always love the dog pictures in the morning. Those are good.
Yeah.
Joe Hudspeth, what's up? Pineville,
Oregon. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's probably going to be a hot one out there today because he's on the high desert. So, All right, Joey's got more input. What you got, Joey?
All right. I can already tell Keith and I are going to have one hell of a week together ribbing each other.
We're going to have to put him in the middle seat right behind the driver because there's nowhere else.
It's the only place he's going to fit. Yeah, that's the only place he's going to fit. Oh, goodness. I can't wait. I literally can't wait. That's the only thing that I almost don't, which I'm kind of glad that we announced the team late this year because that is then it's like the hardest wait where it's like, okay, let's just I keep looking at the calendar going, okay, now we need to get through this. And oh my gosh, we still have 4th of July and then we still have to wait a whole nother month. And I'm just ready to go now.
Yeah, but we got a lot of stuff between now and then.
I know. I know. Michael, I'm doing a stout coating this morning. Awesome.
Go for it.
Love it.
How did none of us come up with a coating for this last week? How did that happen?
Oh, I did a couple. Good morning, PNS team. I was watching a video from ADS about installing their glass coating, and Bradley mentioned using rehab to polish the glass first versus glass polish. Can you explain why? No harm in it. You can totally do that. The only reason that we choose Clarity Cream is because it's actually meant for glass, and it takes off water spots, whereas rehab probably would. You'd have to work it a lot longer. But, I mean, you totally can polish glass with rehab. It's one of those things where if you have a glass polish, you should use a glass polish. Clarity Cream is going to work a lot harder, a lot smarter. But if all you have is rehab, go for it.
I think we like Clarity Cream for a couple of reasons beyond just, the cut and what it does is if you get any on the black trim, it wipes right off. Whereas with rehab, you might have a little bit of white mark or marring. And, it does have a good amount of abrasive in it. So it really does
much tougher abrasive
quickly. So that's just why we like Clarity Cream a little bit more. We love rehab, but we love it on the paint. No more basement. No more attic, baby.
No more attic. No more basement.
Coming in hot. Good morning, Nathan.
Good morning, Nathan.
Hello, Nathan. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Jameer, Josh Pierce, you the man.
Thank you, Jameer.
He pretty much is.
First from Puerto Rico. I remember the Bead Maker. So do
We
I.
are never going to live that down. I swear. That was the 4th of July one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was not a fan. Mine still exists, but mine's on Lucas from customer service at the rag company. It's on his desk now because I finally gave it away. I didn't like it. Some things are not meant to be changed in scent or color.
No.
Dawn says, how often should you use Clarity Cream? Once a year, more often, and should you panel prep afterwards? So you should use it as often as you need. So do you have water spots? Do you have contamination? If you're just doing annual maintenance, then once a year is totally fine. But if you have like I said, if you kind of know when you need to use it after you've used it once, right? If you're getting streaking when you're cleaning your glass or if you've got a bunch of contamination. I mean, honestly, I only used Clarity Cream on my car when I bought it and I've never used it again. Which was almost 4 years ago. But the reason being is because I don't park in the sprinklers. I wash clay seal my car every year. I just don't have any contamination buildup on my windows. So I've never had to use it again on my own vehicle. Customers' cars I do once a year just because they don't care for them like I do. And so it just kind of whenever you think you do. And yes, you should use panel prep afterwards for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the only thing I'll say is, look, if it's coated, you don't want to use it. I mean, unless unless there's a real problem with a lot of water spotting, and you've got to do it, because it will remove the coating.
Yeah, for sure.
With some effort there. So, at least probably I would put 1 year between if you've coated the windshield. Otherwise, if it's uncoated, go for it.
Yeah. Yep. X6M Ghost. Sorry if I missed, but what were those PNS wipes I saw in Joey's story? Those were Fat Joe wipes. So for brand week at the Rag Company, we had 100 special edition containers of Fat Joe wipes that were we didn't use Express, we used Cockpit in them. And then we had little Baby Joes and hot sauce and a sticker. And so those were the gift with purchase for the week at the Rag Company. So the first 100 people that bought their pre-designed PNS kits got a free gift, and it had the Fat Joe wipes. They were obviously a very limited special edition, and so they will not be made available, but they were super fun while we had them.
And while supplies last, that's over. No supplies.
No supplies, yep. All right, Christine says, clean Denali, but a bunch of bugs are still stuck in the black grill area. What would you do in this case to safely remove the bugs without affecting the hydrophobic properties of the coating? So the grill is coated. That would be my question. Honestly, I still use bug off on coatings, and it doesn't seem to affect it at all.
No, if you're really worried about it, pre-wet it and then put the bug remover on there. And honestly, a pressure washer at the right distance will probably knock all that stuff off of there without any real scrubbing.
Yeah, if the grill is coated, they should come off pretty easy. But I use bug off 1-to-1. Usually I spray it down and pressure wash, and they all come right off. If not, I'll use a little Jersey bug scrubber, but I've never noticed that bug off kills the coating at all. So
a coating by nature is chemical resistant.
Yeah, right.
So. Yep. There we go. Jason Carl coming in.
Nice. Hey, Jason. What about therapy versus envy on matte finish paint? I would not ever take anything to your matte finish paint.
No.
Ever.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out my old phrase. That's patina. You paid extra for that. There you go.
Yeah. You'll make it shiny no matter what type. Everything has a certain abrasive in it, and it will make it a little bit shiny. So if you used lotion, which has no abrasive in it, and you're using a foam pad on paint, it's got abrasives to the front. And also, Jason, you have stout on your hood, so you do have a slight amount of, like, if you scratch the stout, you could probably take therapy on a black pad and run it at like speed 1. But the only problem is we're never going to know when you break through the coating.
Yeah.
But if something happened on your hood, because we had it pretty dialed before we put the stout on it, there's a possibility even you could use it by hand if you have like a little scratch or something. So you do have a certain level of the stout that you could polish, but you'd have to be really careful.
Yeah.
Scott Graves, good morning from Michigan. Good morning. First from Puerto Rico, saying good morning to Scott.
It's going around.
Scott's been gone for a while. Everyone missed him.
I know.
Christopher Jacob, a client of mine has an old bottle from PNS, and it's some sort of polish, but it's been outlawed for years. It's super solvent smelling. Any clue what it is? Outlawed.
Buff tone. That's what it is.
Nice. I love that. Outlawed. Yeah, super solvent is, buff tone.
It could be buff tone. It might be high tone glaze, but it's one or the other. Those would be the two super solventy ones.
Yeah, high tone glaze got a good solvent smell.
Yeah. But one of them is not outlawed. Actually, neither one of them were outlawed. They just kind of got phased out because paint changed. So
it says it smells like strong magic markers.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's probably buff tone. Yeah,
that's funny.
If I was a guessing man. Morris, Minnesota. How you doing, Timothy and Company?
I love that, Timothy and Company. That's hilarious.
Well, you want to see his logo?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that's so great. I love that.
Keith, he was at one of our trainings when we did the DSI event.
That's awesome. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of stickers, I did some sticker updates on the old parts cabinet. So I added two.
Yeah. Nice. Joseph Fuller says, thank you for the TrueView guidance. I'll use the applicator method. Please do. It's like the best thing ever.
Yep. And use a non-barrier applicator. That's the win.
Hans, we're just out here breaking hearts. So sorry. So sorry.
Long distance heartbreak. Us, always.
All right. Christine says, bug off diluted can mess with coatings hydrophobics at times. So I usually avoid it on coated cars. What's your best bug off that can anyone... Well, Christine, I'm not Chad. I'm not sure because I've never had bug off hurt a coating's hydrophobics. So now I will tell you that here's the thing too, is occasionally certain chemicals, even though the coatings are chemically impervious, it can like shock the surface temporarily, but it is very temporary. So, but generally speaking, when I do that, I'm still kind of going back over with like Defender or something, and then the coating automatically like revives itself after, a couple hours. So I've never had granted, I only use PNS coatings and a few others, and I have never had any problem with bug off. So I'm not sure if it's just the coating that you're using or whatever, but maybe try diluting bug off more. But for me, bug off is such a good product. You probably couldn't rip it out of my hands. I absolutely love bug off, but I use it on every single coated car, especially this time of the year. Every car gets pre-sprayed with bug off in the front. And I've never had any problem with it. So I'm not sure, but otherwise, because anything stronger than that, I think you're going to kind of have the same issue, I would imagine.
Yeah. I pre-wet is always the big thing for me. I would say there's pre-wet those areas and apply a 1-to-1 ratio product. And I don't think you're going to have a problem. But
yeah.
Again, we don't know the coating, and not saying anybody else's coating is bad or good, but they all do react a little different.
Well, and the other thing too is, for me, I don't really ever notice like hydrophobics on grills and whatnot. Certainly on the hood, of course, but on the grills. And what we have to remember is that if the hydrophobics get shocked, we're not actually damaging the coating. So in a lot of coatings, the hydrophobics only go down so far in the coating. And like I said, a lot of times those will recover on their own, but just if that happens and you go back over it with Defender, you've restored the hydrophobic layer. And so for me, every time I wash a coated vehicle, I'm always going back over it with Defender regardless. And so maybe try that if it's making you nervous that the hydrophobics were shocked. Because I guess I would just assume that coating is going to kind of have the hydrophobics messed with temporarily, even with an APC. And so for me, I would rather use the chemicals versus like a scrubbing action. I think the scrubbing action, you're actually wearing away the coating because that's how coatings wear down, is with abrasion. So for me, I'm always going to choose a chemical over extra scrubbing.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Hans.
What about just sending me the digital label of Fat Joe? That is Bob's other most unfavorite thing to do, is to send out labels.
Or to even share
digital. Right, via digital. The problem, Hans, is that it has disclaimers on there that says not for resale and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how to solve this problem when we have special editions, because then if it's a special edition, we can't send out the label. Right. So, let me check. The other hard thing, Hans, is that it would be one thing to say, like, we could print a couple labels, but now that we don't ship out of our facility, like trying to coordinate getting them in the container, it's literally like climbing Mount Everest, but worse.
Yeah, but we maybe could get them the digital version of the label.
Maybe, but Bob doesn't like to send out digital versions of labels.
No, I think if knowing Hans, if we have him sign a disclosure agreement and sign some stuff for blood, we might be able to get it done. So we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
No promises though. So what products do we use at
Right.
Monterey? Well, good Lord, we just covered a bunch of them, but okay. So everybody take a turn. Sid, what products do we use at Monterey?
Absolute. We use a lot of Absolute. So we used to use a lot of products, but the year that Absolute came out, we realized, especially when we switched to the format of doing the auction, that really changed things. So now we use Absolute. So we generally wipe down the cars on day one with Absolute, and then we put Defender on them. And then day two, you can't really do anything else since Defender's on there. All we can do is wipe them down with Absolute. So Absolute is probably our most used product. Everything, all the planes, everything gets Absolute.
Yep. And Reflect and
Yep, Reflect. We do use we take like Brake Buster and we take tire dressing. Last year they had us
shine, didn't we? Last year.
Yeah, last year they tried to get us to not use tire dressing, but then at the end we ended up needing to because they looked bad on television. So yeah, we do a lot of wipe and shine. We do take Brake Buster to clean up the wheels and tires if we need.
Still use a lot of Bead Maker and paint gloss.
Yep.
Yep. This year we'll take Release just for fun. But not actually a ton though. We really don't take a ton of product anymore because Absolute gets us so far. Far. But we do take a lot of towels. I mean, we got to give a shout out to the towels too. The towels are
a lot of
we can't do it without
towels.
1200 GSM towels and the
towels. Go through a lot of liquidators.
Yep. Laundry day is always a lot of fun with those. And then what did we use for tire shine mostly last year? Was it wipe and shine?
Wipe and shine.
Yeah. And we use some dynamic. We use a lot of dynamic too. We just, we're selective about it. So the biggest challenge with tire shine at these events is the cars look good static, but then they're going to drive a lot of them to their next event, and we haven't had a chance to really do a world-class, cleaning of the tire. So we're always, concerned there might be sling or we don't know what's underneath there. So you don't want to dress them too much.
Yeah.
So, all right. Scott is coming in with some advice on some tar removal. I have tried the Citrol 266. It's very effective. I have not used the Stoner tar removal, but I got to believe it probably works just as well. Yeah. All right. There's one for you, Josh.
Gary Johnston. I used Rehab on a 69 Mercedes 280 SL convertible. It worked amazing. Love the product.
Nice.
Awesome. Timothy and Company Rehab Therapy and Stout all on tap for this week. My product of the week is Radiance Wash. Oh my gosh. Can we talk about that? Did you guys watch the Q&A that I was on with Tristan? So the Rag Company Q&A on Brand Week, we did the hybrid wash, which I have to take from Joey. It's Joey Belinsky's wash. You use Frostbite, you foam Frostbite, and then rinse it, and then foam Radiance and contact wash it. If you have not tried this, Josh, you have to try this. It feels like you are washing on ice, on stout. Yeah, do it on a car that's had stout on it. It is insane. And then the car looks like you just put stout on again. But you barely can hold the wash mitt on the surface. Like, it is crazy. It is my favorite wash. So foam Frostbite, rinse it, foam Radiance, contact wash.
I'm going to do that this afternoon.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
We did it in Singapore with Alvin and BK. Alan and I did. And here's the thing. When you go to rinse it, the water just explodes off the car. It basically sheets off the car. It doesn't even stay.
Yeah. Drying could not be. It's wild. It's really wild. It's such a great coating reset. Oh my gosh. Absolutely wild.
Yeah. And then we used a pretty strong mix of Radiance, but I got to say, that stuff foams really well. You know?
I love Radiance. Joe, supposed to be 93 here today. Glad my rig is already clean. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
First from Puerto Rico, avoid letting Ulux touch trim. It will stain. Be very careful and remote. It really stinks. It does stink, yep.
Yep.
And yeah, not to be used on trim for sure.
Definitely.
Bob says, love the swag. We got 2, but no signatures. You know what, Bob? I'm going to be honest. The one that got posted with signatures was the only one that got signatures. So here's the deal, you guys. When stuff like that comes up at the rag company or there's specials like that, you have to request signatures. So we get so caught up in what we're doing that it literally takes the customer service people that have the order. So in your order notes, you have to put, please have somebody sign it. Because then customer service walks it out to wherever we are and makes us stop what we're doing and sign it. But otherwise, we get so wrapped up in stuff. So you have to request the signatures. But honestly, that was the only one that happened that week. Yeah. So sorry about that. But yeah, you have to request signatures. But I'm so glad that you got 2 kits. That's super fun.
I mean, occasionally Sid and Bob
if
and
we
Dave
go down,
yeah.
But that special stuff, especially from the rag company, you have to say, please sign it.
Yep. Very rarely do we have all of us in one place where we can go, we're going next door. We're going to grab 2 cases of whatever and just sign all the bottles. And we've done that a couple of times, but we weren't all together this time. We kind of were there in waves at the rag company.
Yep. All right. Dawn says, should I use the Fat Joe hot sauce or is there a chance it becomes a collectible? Since the Fat Joe wipes were made with cockpit, any difference with the other wipes with express interior? So you can use the hot sauce. We actually have more of it. We're intending on putting it on our website. So
we do sell the hot sauce.
Yeah, you can sell or you can use it. The wipes are what was the limited edition. And so they were made with cockpit. There's no difference. So, cockpit is maybe a little bit stronger of a solution. But otherwise, they're just going to be a quick interior wipe. There's not really going to be anything necessarily different that you need to do with them. Yeah.
I mean, fragrance is different. I kind of like that fragrance a little better, but beyond that, really no difference. So, all right, I'm gonna do my best, Jason Carls. But Sydney, you fixed it last time. So when you're here, I'm coming to see you.
I need to come see him.
You will be there the 14th and 15th.
I will be there the 14th and 15th
of July.
So I'm curious, Jason, did something happen to it?
Yeah. What happened to the dad pumpkin? I want to
know. Good morning. This is Jimmy from Iowa. Love the show. Thanks for tuning in.
Morning, Jimmy.
We might have the answer here. I ended up light scratching on the hood from an oak leaf I didn't catch on the time towel.
Okay, I think we can fix that.
He was doing his best Fat Joe imitation out
there. It should have stayed in the stout. We should be able to fix that.
Yeah.
Gabriel for Chad. I've used Bug Off Straight as a pre-wash weekly on the lower parts of my car in wintertime, and it didn't hurt. Legend.
There you go.
Hans, I will sign 10 NDAs if needed. Really wants that Fat Joe label. Queenie, the solution for the future, limited editions, save a few for the container to Europe. So, Gabriel, that's just the only problem is that I know it sounds easy, but it's not. Because now we're relying on other people, so like where do they put it and store it until it's time for that container to go? And then I wish it was as easy as it sounds, but there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of people now. And where do we keep them until that container goes? And then how do we mark them? How do we, because everything is all palletized and it's all by the pallet. And then you have these few little extra, I just wish there was an easier way to ship than by big boat.
Yeah, and that order that he's talking about, that thing basically once it's pulled and complete, that thing's quarantined, man. We can't add anything to it. The bill of lading's set, all that stuff's set. So, and quite frankly, they were leaving at the same time, so it just wasn't going to work. But
it sounds easier than it is.
Yeah.
Wow, this excites me. Pristine says the Wipe and Shine and the Screwball are coming today. Best combo ever.
Yeah, so that's a new one you showed us for tire dressing application.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The Screwball is amazing. And with Wipe and Shine, it's the best.
Well, you're going to get away from a green flag tip brush, Josh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Mine's already seasoned, though. I can't stop using it.
Oh, you'll stop using it if you try the Screwball. All right. Quality Car Care Product Pro. Good morning. Tony here. I just love Frostbite for my 4x4 wide open. This product is amazing. By the way, is the new compound coming? I'm waiting to pair it up with rehab and therapy. Yes, compound in the next couple weeks.
Right. And then Tony, as soon as you get it on your door, call me. We got to go do a class. I know why Tony's hot for the new compound, because we've got some cool stuff in the works for him. So
cool.
All right. I'm not sure what Chad's talking about here. Sorry for the issue I learned from the
Fat Joe wipes. He's the one that got the autographed Fat Joe wipes.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. No issue. You just knew what to do. And you were smart. No, I love that somebody got one. That's awesome. Love it.
Look at that. Good morning.
Mr. Tom Robertson. Good morning. Okay, we have about 5 minutes.
Checked in.
We have about 5 minutes, and I got to get ready for work. Okay, Gabriel. Okay, I see all options. You have my address, so ship and I will pay it. I can't handle a sad Hans. Oh. Okay, so Gabriel, send me a message. We're going to figure this out, because I do have a couple in my garage. I just don't know how to get them to you.
If you get the info to Sid, I will help her get them to you.
I do have a couple. So let's figure this out. I don't need to be breaking hearts overseas. So let's figure this out. I just know that it can't be under the responsibility of going in the container. That I do know. But we can figure it out. I held some back.
I have the PNS UPS account number. We can do stuff.
Okay.
All right. So the legal plan has been hatched on live TV. That's awesome.
Yes. So I like the picture of Fat Joe on Josh's shelf behind him. Yes. All things Fat Joe live in Iowa.
Fat Joe in a suit.
Yep. I love it. Yep. I love it. Did you guys see the new cover photo on the PNS Facebook page? It is Fat Joe is ready for Monterey.
He is. We're going to have to stop calling him Fat Joe, though. He looks like he's losing weight.
Yeah.
So, Hans, you have to tell us in return for trying to figure this Fat Joe thing out. You have to tell us where you got your Fat Joe outfit, because it's literally Fat Joe.
I may have one on the way.
Did you see where Bob said he's out? If you put that on.
That's why I have one on the way.
Oh, God.
I won't wear it to Monterey, but I might show up to PNS in it.
Oh, no.
I will give you $100 if you drive the van wearing it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That might get us pulled over. That'd be great.
Can't park there.
Okay, Steve, what do y'all use to clean off exhaust tips that have a lot of carbon baked on? Oh, that's never fun. Never fun. Occasionally I'll use like a product like aluminum brightener or something, but I don't really like to do that. It's not something that I worry about too often unless the customer specifically says something about it, because knowing from my own cars, it comes back a couple days later.
Clarity cream.
Yep. So
yeah.
A few times with
yeah.
And we have a glass and chrome polish too. That's decent. What we used to do.
Hans. It sounds like Josh has one coming, Hans. I might be able to send you guys a Fat Joe suit. I love that. Wasn't his suit funny? I mean, it is literally like the exact same as the stuffed animal. Yeah. So funny. So funny.
What could we do with 2 Fat Joe suits at Club 308?
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
I can't say it. I mean,
I can't. Yeah.
On that note, we are up on the time.
Yeah.
So where's everybody going to be? What's going on? What's the schedule look like?
So in the next couple weeks, I will be in Hayward in 2 weeks from today, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks
So
from today.
we'll have Bead Maker and Coffee that morning from Hayward.
We will.
Yeah. So Keith and I will be in Hayward with Sarah from Rupes. We'll be putting on a Rupes training. I do think we have a couple, we might have a couple spots left for that training. So if you're interested in that, I literally think we have like 2 open in one class and maybe 3 or 4 in the other. So day 1 is going to be the Rupes experience. We're going to go through all the tools and kind of break down the Rupes system for you. Day 2 is the one tool, which is the Duetto, right? And so we'll use one tool, and then it will also have the Stout ceramic certification. So you can go to psdetailproducts.com under the training tab to register for that. The cost is only $250 per class, so you can sign up for one or both. So that is in 2 weeks from today. Super excited about that. And then Josh, you have trainings coming up as well.
Yep, right? We got 2 days that same week.
Cool.
But then we will be in Boise.
Nice. I'm so excited. Yeah. So then we have a car show at the end of that week at the Toy Box here on the Rad Company campus. So that will be super exciting.
Yep.
And we should mention, we have the AFO project starts next Monday in Seattle. So we'll wish that team well and be there to support them. So Rennie and his team will be kicking that off on Monday the 7th. So make sure you watch for that. And Keith, are you home for a bit?
I am home until next week because I go to Hawaii next week to go do with the Hawaii Education Association. So they came to our building last year, which was a lot of fun. I'm going there this year, so remember, I got to go do that.
Yeah.
So we're doing all things PNS training for 2 days, and then we're doing the certification day after that. So that'll be a ton of fun. And then I'll be with you the following week. So more road time for all of us.
Cool.
And then we kind of get a little bit of a break because we got your car show on the 19th, right? At the Toy Box. And then the 26th is the Squatcha Q, 4th annual. So if you're in the Northwest or if you're like Josh and you get on a plane a lot, come on by the house. We'll have a ball. And then we're into August and we're on the 10-day countdown pretty quick. So, because it is the 11th of August, we all congregate at San Francisco at the mothership and head south. So
yeah. And I think I'm doing a Stout training on the 3rd here in Boise. So I don't have any free weekends until Monterey.
So on behalf of Team PNS, a happy 4th of July, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe. Make sure you come back with 10 and 10 if that's what you started with. We don't need anybody losing any fingers because it's a lot harder to detail a car with one less finger.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. I got to get to the Rad Company, but you guys have a great week, and I will chat with you soon.
All right. Well, everybody, happy 4th of July.
Bye.